has that new performance center here. Tuff N Uff is the leading brand in up and coming fighters.
Ronda. For people don't know, this is where Ronda came from. This is where everybody comes
Jackson
from.
I mean, you name it. There's been a ton of great UFC fighters that started in King of the Cage.
And from what I've been told, if they're doing it correctly, are they going to do it again? They're going to do 12 amateur fights. I'm hoping they do no-gi submission fights again. They do.
That'd be great if they do.
So that would be about the only thing that would be enough to get me fired enough to go back into a cage. A no-gi fight in the cage would be a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet.
There you go. That's the big plug. So sign up. Go to samstownlv.com. Round 8 operation. We're going to be there. I guarantee we're going to be there. You will be able to see us. We will be. All you got to do is type in FightNet Radio. Follow us on Facebook. All right? I'm going to keep it simple. FightNetRadio.com. We'll put you on our Facebook page. Click the like button. Right? Not hard. You will be notified of everything we post on there, including our live feeds from the event, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and all the craziness. And if you're wondering if I ramp up and get crazier at those events, I can literally confirm that I ramp up and get crazier at live events. But now we have Bobby, who will now incite my violence and insanity.
Yeah. I've been known to incite a riot or two.
All right, let's give you guys what you really want to know, which is, Bobby, how do I bet this weekend? And
this is
with a very important Saturday coming up. Yeah, look, I don't watch a lot of college football. I actually wait for what's about to happen in college football. This Saturday, it's really happening in college football, but we'll get to it in just a minute. We are not at that number yet. Let's start off with Roll Tide. Alabama still first position, 8-0, taking on LSU. So they're getting how many points? 21, 30?
Is that game this week or is that game next week?
Oh, they're off a week. You're right. They're on a bye. Forgive me. You guys are lucky.
Yep.
Well, that takes us to the biggest game of the week.
Oh, here it comes. This is it.
I'm excited. And as I said, I don't watch a lot of college football. But when I do, it's generally when, number 2 is playing number 6. Penn State taking on Ohio State at Ohio State. The battle of the end. Yeah. Ohio State's got a loss. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, this is going to set the stage for something.
This is it. This is the game. This is the Big Ten wrapped in a bow here. Penn State wins this game. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion that they're going to be in the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of John going on down from the Ohio State faithful. A lot of disrespect for the Penn State team, and that's fine. That's totally fine that we're going in there and that Ohio State's a 6.5 point favorite. We're okay with that. We want that. Penn State's totally prepared for that. They're ready for this game. I've never seen Coach Franklin more fired up. Saquon Barkley is ready to go. He is. You look back to 2 years ago when we lost Ohio State. He put up 180-something yards on them rushing, and we're talking about not a very good Penn State team. What, 7-5 or something that year? This kid, he's built for this. He's built for these games. He wants this. He wants this stage. And the 12th-year senior J.T. Barrett doesn't scare me for Ohio State. Penn State's going to go into Ohio State. They're going to make a statement, and when all's said and done, you heard it here first on Fight Net Radio. Penn State will be the number 1 team in the land after this game, with Alabama having the bye week.
Wow. Strong sentence. So I'm taking Penn and I'm giving the points. Or
you're getting the points. You're getting 6.5. Yep. And not only are we taking this game with the points, we're taking this game on the money line, and we're also teasing this game to make it so that Penn State's getting 13 points. So we got Penn State all across the board here. I like it all across the board.
Bet of the week. Alert! This is your wheel bet.
Exactly right. We're definitely liking the way Penn State looks here, and not just from a completely biased point of view either. If you look at the way Penn State matches up position for position with Ohio State, it's very favorable, very favorable. The one team that Ohio State played this year that had actual chops and was a good, strong team was Oklahoma. They put in exactly 1 touchdown against Oklahoma. And the most underrated part of this Penn State team is the Penn State defense, led by Cabinda and the boys. These guys, they're looking for blood. They're not happy with the disrespect they're getting nationally right now with the media outlets. A couple places are giving Penn State the respect they deserve. Second week in a row they'll be on College Game Day. At the end of the day, none of that matters. They're going to have to go into to the Horseshoe at 12:30 at Pacific time on Saturday, and they're going to have to prove why they're the number 1 team in the country. And when all the dust settles, when all's said and done, Penn State's going to walk out of there with their hand raised. Saquon Barkley's going to cement his Heisman bid, and we're going to be heading into the playoffs, and Penn State will be the number 1 team, rolling and rolling and rolling, and roll that tide.
Georgia at Florida. Florida, should I guess, is getting a few dozen points in this game?
Yeah, they're getting 14. It's not that big of a spread, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of that has to do with the historical matchup of the game. I think, this is the kind of game where Georgia has beaten Florida when Florida's been great, and the reverse has happened. A record's just a record in some of these games. This is big-time rivalry. These kids get fired up. All that said, I like Georgia in this game. I even like them laying the 14. I don't think Florida's offense is capable to keep up with a team like Georgia. Once Chubb gets going and that motor's rolling, Fromm gets it into gear, Godwin's rolling, it's going to be tough. I think Georgia minus 14 is a good bet here, but like always, when we like something like this, we want to make sure we tease it down as well and get that favorable number.
The game that I like best on the schedule is up next, TCU at Iowa State. Iowa State's obviously going to get points. Is it enough to make Iowa State interesting?
Man, I've been going back and forth with this game in my mind. I really like Iowa State this year. They have a good ball club, and they've been very impressive, pretty much the whole way through. That said, I'm a believer in TCU. We've been over this, for the first few weeks. They scorched me. They left me burned like a Mongolian horde, mashing through the steps. It was not a good situation. But now I'm on board. TCU's rolling. Kenny the Trill Hill is living up to his name. I mean, the kid has 1,728 yards passing this year. This is a good ball player. This kid knows what he's doing. I think TCU minus the 6.5 is a great bet here. I'm going to take TCU minus the points, and I'm also going to be teasing it down to make it a pick 'em.
Wow. Wisconsin at Illinois.
With Illinois is just, what happened to Illinois? It's really hard for me to I hate saying this, but the whole program at Illinois is just garbage. I mean, it's just trash. I really enjoyed watching Illinois when I was younger, that when they were in the Big Ten, obviously with Penn State. They've had some really good players come through there. But it just seems like as of late, this team they just can't get anything together. I mean, it's just trash game after trash game. Wisconsin comes in here laying 26.5 on the road. And you know what? I think they're going to cover this spread. I mean, Hornibrook's playing well for them right now. The kid has, 1,435 yards passing, 13 TDs. And this isn't really a passing team. Historically, Wisconsin is a rushing team. And the proof is in the pudding this year. Jonathan Taylor, 1,112 yards and 11 trips to the end zone. So this is a well-versed team. This team knows what's going on. They know how to win. And I think that they're going to go in there and they're going to really whip Illinois nice and good.
Okay, we already covered that. Clemson at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Clemson. This team, Clemson, they're I still think they're one of the best teams in the nation. I mean, they're not chopped liver or anything like that, but at the same time, they were kind of exposed by Syracuse. You have to be focused for every single game, every single quarter, every single play in college football. One game can mean a loss of everything. And it's going to be interesting to see how Clemson responds to that. But with that said, they are, a championship caliber team. They still only have one loss. I think they're going to be primed and ready to go against Georgia Tech. The spread's a little much, 14. I'm not gonna wager on the half-point parlay here or take Clemson minus 14 straight, but I will probably tease them down and get it to an 8-point spread, 7.5-point spread, something around there, and I will be comfortable doing that.
Miami takes on at North Carolina. The Hurricanes.
Man, the Hurricanes, what is this? 1994? It's nice to see the Hurricanes back in the top 10. It's kind of a blast to the past. And you know what? They got
the 1-7 Tar Heels. It's not much of a stretch, but the question is it worthwhile?
I think it is. I think Miami minus 20 is a good spot here. I think Miami is going to put up a lot of points against this team. I'm really impressed with quarterback play from Malik Rozier from Miami. The kid's been playing well. 1,715 yards passing, 14 TDs. This is another kid that's been, lighting it up. So I think that with the connection with him and Travis Homer, with him and Berrios, that it's going to be a long day for North Carolina. And mentioning Homer, this is a real good running back. This is a tough running back. He chops up big yards. He's strong. I think that Homer is going to be a big difference maker early in the game to dictate the pace. And I think Miami pulls away in this game and they win by at least 4 touchdowns.
Notre Dame taking on North Carolina State.
I'm a believer. Count me as a believer with the Golden Domers. These guys are playing well. Their only loss is to Georgia. This team's playing well, minus 7.5. NC State's a great team as well. There's no doubt about it. But I think going into South Bend, it's going to be too much for North Carolina State. I think Notre Dame gets it done, and I'm comfortable laying the 7.5, even though I hate the hook. We all know how much I hate the hook. But I think I'm comfortable enough here to think Notre Dame wins by at least 10 in this game, probably by 2 touchdowns, though. I think Finley's going to have a great game in this one for North Carolina State, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Number 10, bottom of the pile, Oklahoma. The Sooner Boomer taking on Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech has really taken a stumble lately. They opened up. They were like a wild beast the way that offense was rolling, but they've had some tough losses lately. And Oklahoma is a team that they know that they can't step up. They can't trip up one more time, or they're out of consideration for everything. So I got to think Mayfield is, the year this kid's putting together is just, it's otherworldly. 2,347 yards passing, 19 TDs, 149 for 202. The kid's having a great year. And I really think that they're going to put a hurting on Texas Tech here. Texas Tech really they just don't have the defense to keep up with this team. And their offense, which has been a staple down there, just hasn't really been up to the task as of late. So I'm comfortable with Oklahoma minus the 20 here. I think they win by at least 25. And obviously, I'm going to drop them on my tees as well.
Okay, got to bet the college fund. Where's it going?
I really don't have a game that I'm betting the house on, but the game I like the most this week is Penn State getting the points. I think that Penn State is going to go into Ohio State, and like I said earlier, for all the reasons I stated earlier, they're going to go in there and they're going to really put a hurting on Ohio State this week. And that might not be reflected on the scoreboard as in like a huge score. But I think if you watch the game, you'll see Penn State is really going to dominate them in the trenches, and defensively, Penn State will surprise a lot of people. And let's not forget there's rain in the forecast.
Oh, nice. This would be a great opportunity for me to say, all of you in California, did I mention November 11th in Las Vegas? You know what I'm thinking to those of you in Los Angeles or surrounding the Las Vegas community. You should go to LasVegasDiscount.net and join us on November 11th. At Sam's. I'll pick you up. All right, just text me when you get to town. I don't think all of the Fight Net Radio fans are actually going to show up. So all 6 of you who come in from out of state, just hit me up on social media. I'll pick you up. Put you in the back of the SUV, and I'll drive you over with Bobby. It'll be great. It'll be a party bus all the way there. We'll stop by a dispensary. I'll buy all the way around. That's right. For those wondering, I am now promoting drug use and alcoholism on November 11th as a sober person. I'm saying it definitively. It's going to happen. When in Rome. Boy, do I need pain patches right now. And I so don't want to go back to jiu-jitsu. I'm dying for a trip to Vegas just because I need more patches. Ugh. Again, November 11th. How's the best way to be there on November 11th? Go to LasVegasDiscount.net. And you can stay at Sam's. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at Sam's Town. They could be a sponsor someday, and I'm sure people stay at Sam's Town. I'm sure that happens. That aren't locals who have been displaced by fire or flood for some reason. But if I'm sorry, we told you to stay at Caesar's Palace not too long ago. I got to be brutally honest here, folks. If you're going to spend $100, stay on the Strip.
Yes. Look, I guess, it's big with the NASCAR crowd. A lot of people come in, they do a lot of NASCAR events. Yeah, they do some NASCAR events there. They've done like some NHRA stuff there before. So it's not, Sam's Town used to be a pretty well thought of destination. And still, it's not like one of these, it's not a run to inside. It's not.
How do you not have sponsors for your segment already? Like people just beating down the door. We want this Bobby guy. We need him on radio. Listen, he's politically correct. He's got free thinking ideas. And he can do the most important thing. He can talk compelling about sporting events indefinitely. What's true. The local sports show out there? Does anybody listen to it? Or are they just syndicating Rome, still doing the same tired colloquialisms that he does?
No, we got a pretty cool local sports radio show on 720 AM, the Kenny Thompson SportsX radio show. I used to do a segment on that show every Wednesday.